This video is a quick start guide to using your JVC camera. I'm not going to go into troubleshooting or some of the advanced features. If you want a more in-depth explanation, you can download the manual. Besides the camera and the tripod, you'll need a battery, a microphone, an audio cable, headphones, and a 64 gigabyte SD card. Okay, we've got our battery. You'll just take off the plastic terminal guard, but make sure you hang on to it because you're going to need it when you put the battery away. Just put it in your case for now. The battery goes in the back of the camera with the letters upright. You just push it in and slide it to the left. You'll hear a click. To release it, right next to the battery is a little bat release button. Okay, so back in. Okay, now we're ready to power up our camera. On the left-hand side, open up the LCD screen, and just above it, you will see an on-off switch. Push in the blue button and slide it to the left. A green power light will come on. Then the LCD screen will light up, and there'll be lots of information on it, but don't worry about that. We'll get into that later. If your screen looks like this, the display is turned off. So go to the camera and hit the display button. Next, we're going to attach the microphone and the mic cable. Just on the top of the camera is a mic holder. Unscrew this, lay it right in there. You don't need to go too tight. These things, I've seen these things break. The microphone has 3 pins, and your audio cable has 3 pins on one side and 3 holes on the other. So just line up the holes, and there's a little notch here. You just slide that in until it clicks. Good. Now there's 2 inputs, input 1 and input 2, just under the microphone. We're going to go into input 1. So line those up until you hear it click. That's it. On the other side of the handle, there's a plastic door. Just open that up, and on channel 1, you're going to slide the switcher and the white line down to input 1. So input 1 on this side, select input 1, channel 1 on the other side. In the middle column, you'll go to audio input, and on the left-hand side, input 1, slide the switcher down to mic 48V. On the far right-hand column, you'll see the words auto and manual. Slide that switcher over to manual. To the far right, you'll see a channel 1 dial. That sets the level for your audio. On the LCD display screen, the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a CH1, that's channel 1. And that's where you'll see the levels for your audio. If you dial it down to 0, you'll see no audio level at all. As you dial it up, my audio level has gone right up to what's called 10 dB. That's about where you want it to go. You don't want it to go all the way up to 0 because that will distort your audio and it won't be usable. So we're at a pretty good level right there. We're not using channel 2, so underneath auto and manual, slide the bottom button over to manual and just dial that down to 0. With that all set, just close the plastic door. Okay, the audio level on channel 1 looks good, but we aren't hearing anything. So we need to plug in our headsets. The headphones plug into the back of the camera. Just underneath the battery, there's a little plastic cover. You just kind of pull that out, and you'll see the icon for the headphones just in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I can hear myself speak, so that's good. We've got audio. I'm going to take these off just for now. Now we're ready to insert our 64 gigabyte SD card. On the left-hand side of the camera, you'll see a plastic door. Just slide that to the right, and you'll insert the SD card with the notch side up in the first slot, and then slide the plastic door back. We're ready to format the card. Go to the menu and thumb button, top button, toggle down to System. Select, then toggle down to Media, select, and format media. On this screen, you'll toggle up to the format button. You'll see a green bar going across which says formatting and then complete. Now what that does is it erases everything that was on the card before. So anything that was recorded before on the card is gone. Okay, hit the menu and thumb button to get us out of that menu. Actually, there's one other problem. On our LCD display screen, it says 1920 by 1080, and underneath it, it says 50i. We actually want 50p. So hit the menu thumb button again, then scroll down to System, select System, select Record Set, select Record Format, and then toggle down to Frame Rate. Select, go to 50p. Next down, toggle down to the next bit rate, select 422. And then hit menu thumb button again. It'll ask you if you want to apply, select apply, and then you have to wait a couple seconds. I'm just going to explain some of the things on the LCD screen. Now at the top, you'll see that tells you how many minutes you have left on your battery. Move over to the center that says standby. That means the camera isn't recording right now. If you turn the camera on, hit the record button, it changes to a little red circle with REC. And then if you move over to the red A, that tells you how many minutes you have left to record video on your SD card. So it's 163 minutes. That's about 2.5 hours. Pretty good. I'm going to hit the record button again to stop recording. Moving down, that tells you that you're shooting in high definition 1080 at 50p and bitrate 50. Going down, you'll see the audio levels. Over to the right of the audio meter is a little hand. That is for the image stabilization. So you can turn that off with the button OIS. Turn it back on. The M tells us that we're shooting in manual mode. Over to the right is, it says 32K. So that is the light temperature. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see 1/50. That's the shutter speed, which we won't be touching too often. Above that, you'll see the F2. That tells us that's how much light is coming in to the camera, and you can change that by the iris. Above that, we have manual focus, and then you'll see a little zebra. Okay, we're ready to take the lens cap off. To remove the lens cap, just put your thumb and point your finger and squeeze towards the center, release. Hang on to this, do not lose it. Put it in my pocket for now. We have in front of us a plant. It doesn't look like a healthy plant because the color's wrong, the light level's wrong, and it's out of focus. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is to check our filters. A filter is a bit like sunglasses. You use it to cut down light. So when you're indoors, you wouldn't have a filter on. You move it all the way down to the off. When you go outside to shoot on an overcast day or cloudy day, move it to the 1/4 filter. And if it's really sunny outside, go all the way up to 1/16. We're shooting inside a plant, so let's go all the way down to off, no filter. Now we're going to white balance the camera. Basically that means telling the camera what the color white is in the lighting conditions that you're shooting in. Once the camera knows what white is, all the other colors will be calibrated correctly. So you just need a piece of white paper, put it in front of the lens, and the white balance button is in the front of the camera, just under the lens. It's actually in the center of the iris dial that we used earlier. So just push the button in, hold it until you get the correct white balance. The screen says it's overexposed, so we need to iris down a little bit. And then try again. Okay, we've got our white balance. Now you may have noticed that there were lots of lines on the screen. Those are called zebra stripes. Now we use zebra stripes to help us get the right light level for our video. Too many zebras on the screen means it's overexposed and you have to close the iris down just a little bit. No zebras on the screen means you have not enough light. So you have to open up the iris a little bit. Ideally, we want some zebras on the screen. Okay, now we need to get this plant in focus. The focus ring is on the front of the camera. You just spin it around until you get the proper focus. You may want to zoom in just a little bit to check your focus. The zoom is on the right-hand side of the camera on the handle. You can just rock it between W for wide and T for telephoto. You just want to frame your shot up. Maybe tilt a little bit. Okay, we're ready to record. Let's get our headsets on to make sure we're getting sound. The record button is on the back of the camera. You just push it in to start recording. Let's zoom in a little bit and then push the record button again to stop recording. To check the video and sound on the clip you just recorded, you can hit the C review button and it'll play it back for you. Okay, I'm hearing myself. That's good. Okay, I think you're ready to give it a shot now. It takes a little practice. There's a lot of things to remember, but don't get discouraged. Just have some fun.